All right, today we're going to learn how to turn ourselves into a Lego character. So what we need to do is I'm going to put some images on the video here on the screen for you. Typically what I'll do in my classroom is I show a PowerPoint and we go through different pictures and I show them where we start, so on and so forth. So I'm going to do that with you as well. I'm going to put different pictures up. I'm going to talk about those pictures, and then we'll get started here. So as you can see, this is a typical drawn, like it's not the actual character. This is a proportionate character. This is a female character, and then we have a male character as well. In my classroom, my students, we don't put capes and make different things. Like, we're not turning ourselves into an actual character. We're turning the character into ourselves. So this Lego character is us. So it'll be our clothing that we normally wear. And yes, you have to draw hair. You cannot put a hat on if you have hair. In my case, I don't have hair, so I don't have to put hat or hair on. But we're going to put our normal clothing on. So this is what a drawing, uncolored drawing, looks like for a Lego character. Okay, so we're going to end up going through different parts because we could start with this and I could have a printout of this and everybody just kind of colors it in and we've got this black outline around everything, which I don't want to do. That doesn't push my students enough. So I'm going to push you a little harder as well. I don't want this black outline. So we're going to break this down into chunks. Okay, so first thing we're going to look at is the facial expressions. So this is not all the different facial expressions, but there's some emotions. I want us to explore our own emotions. I want you to do maybe 3 or 4 different emotions that you can choose from for your face when we get to that portion. After we've drawn the head and then we're ready to put on the face, these will be your expressions. If you have glasses, that's nice. You'll see me draw mine and how that functions. But we also need to, this is not an anime character. I have a lot of kids end up trying to turn their faces into an anime character. This is not anime. This is a Lego character. Okay, so we want to stay true to the Lego face itself. Okay. After the facial expressions, we'll go through that in a minute. After the facial expressions, we will draw the head. Or actually, we'll draw the hair on a head, I guess. I don't always require my students to draw an entire head, but it can help to have a little context for the jawline, that bottom part of the head. So we will have hair, so we'll have to figure out, and of course, this isn't all the different hairstyles that people have. We have to pick something that's somewhat close, but still keeps the Lego character, the Lego figure style. Okay, so again, this is not a realistic hair. This is not anime hair. This is a Lego piece that clips onto the top of your head. Okay, then we're going to break down the 3 major parts of the body, which are the upper torso with the arms. The hands are separate. I have that as a separate picture because the hands are difficult for a lot of kids to get, and I want to break that down individually so we can focus on that somewhat heavily, or at least practice more than others. And then we've got the lower part of the body, and we have to pay attention to the anatomy there. We've got the belt line, we've got the zipper area with and actually it looks like a zipper area, but it's the hinge where the legs will actually pivot off of on the bottom, because remember, the only part that moves on the Lego character is the bottom portion of the legs. So beneath the zipper area, that the bottom 2 squares. So we've got a rectangle on top for the belt line, really thin rectangle. Then we've got 2 squares on each side of the zipper hinge area. Then we've got 2 bigger squares. You see how they kind of cut in, and that seems to trip people up as well. They miss that little detail, and even though I focus on it pretty heavily, people still miss that. And then beneath that, we have 2 bigger rectangles, thicker than the belt line rectangle. Okay, so we need to focus on all these things individually. We'll practice drawing all of them first, and then we put it all into a rough draft, because this is how I do it in my class. We draw each individual thing on one sheet of paper, just split up, and then we do another sheet of paper where we have a rough draft. And then if the rough draft is proportionate, if everything works out well, sometimes I'll let them just go right off of that, and they'll trace it. I've got a light table, and they'll trace it. If you don't have a light table, use a window. They'll trace it on a better sheet of paper. It's a thicker sheet of paper, and they'll trace it on there, and then they'll have their outline. Even though we want to keep the outline very light, because we don't want to see the dark black lines around everything, we want to try and make it as realistic of a Lego figure as we possibly can. Okay, because if we think about the Lego movie itself, things don't walk around with black lines around them. Okay, same with the little Lego figure. If you've got one, if you're holding one in your hand, there's no black outlines around everything. The only black is on the face, like the facial expressions and things like that. That's actual lines, maybe the lines of the clothes, but that's it. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to focus on the facial expressions first. So what we're going to do to start, and I will zoom in. First thing what we need to do is we're going to divide our paper into fourths. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just make a line and make a line going down. Mine's definitely not perfect, so don't worry about it. I'm going to zoom in on just this one. All right, so I've got one area zoomed in, and I'm going to start working on facial expressions. And this is, again, this is going to be my face, right? This is my face on a Lego character. So again, I'm not drawing realistic. And you're not going to be able to see it at first, but I'm going to show you in just a second. Got to be careful with the eyes. The eyes don't get too far apart. A lot of kids will make the eyes super far apart. And again, there's no nose, so make sure we're not putting a nose. The mouth is pretty close to the eyes. But again, we are drawing ourselves. So what I want to do is I'm going to put on my glasses. And this is almost like a caricature. Again, because first of all, we're making a Lego character, so all right, see how that's going? There'd be those little outlines, kind of, they're dimensional. So on the beard of a person or hair, it's dimensional and there's different layers. So that would kind of represent that. I don't know if I like that, but regardless, it would get colored in anyways. We would just focus on the color, the depth, you know, darker where it's got to be shaded, lighter where it's got to be, where it's raised up, so on and so forth. So on this, first of all, we need to think of emotion. So this one doesn't really have much of an emotion. And I'm going to put the eyebrows in. Your eyebrows can say a lot about your current emotion. So this is kind of just like a steady face, just kind of there, right? And again, I don't want you drawing heads. I don't need a head yet. We just want to focus on drawing the expression, okay? Just the the eyes and the mouth and eyebrows. And if you think about, I think it's Emmett from the movie. For most of the movie, I don't think he has eyebrows. So I don't know why that would be. I think that's more of like a just kind of their face, almost like oblivious, because he was in that first movie. He was kind of oblivious to everything. He didn't really have much going on upstairs. But anyways, so I want you to play around with a couple different emotions. I'm going to do another one here, and we'll see. I'm gonna go with an angry face. And sometimes these might be different sizes. I'm doing my best here, and I expect you to, do your best, and things happen. I'm not expecting perfection. A little bit of a sad face there. Look at the rounded eyebrows. All right. And I'm gonna try. I think I said I was gonna go angry. I think this one's gonna be the one where I go angry. See, I don't even have a face, like a mouth on yet. And that already makes it look angry, right? So, whoops. I kind of curved down. It kind of made him look a little happy. I don't want him to look happy. Not with those eyebrows. I feel like my beard is getting bigger every time I do this. It's weird. Alright, I'm not a big fan of the mouth right now, but that's angry. We could even add a little bit, like if we made this, the eyes tilt in a little bit and flatten the top. There, that looks pretty angry. So, I've got 3. I'm going to probably do one more. I want you to do between 4 and 6, figure out some different emotions you can do. And then I'm going to move on to the next step. And you can continue practicing and pause the video, whatever works for you. Actually, I think I'm going to do a shocked face. Looks like an avocado. That's weird. Teeth are kind of an odd thing too. Maybe I'll do one that shows teeth in it as well, because you're not drawing individual teeth. I don't want you to look like a pumpkin. So that would be my tongue there. So if that were colored in, that would be colored in red. All right. Yeah, let's do, what did I say I was going to do? Oh, teeth. Let's do one with teeth. Maybe this will be my smile face. Gonna have a big smile because it's gonna end up having teeth on it. So there's the upper lip portion. Holy cow, that's a big set of teeth. Maybe that's more of a yell. Maybe I'll show a little bit of teeth down at the bottom. That looks more like a scream. I don't think that's a happy face. That looks really weird. Almost look like some sort of a werewolf or something. That's weird. But I am going to fill in the background just to highlight the teeth. Okay, so now I can see the teeth. That looks like a really weird smile. If you've ever seen the Santa Claus, I think it's the second Santa Claus, that robot Santa Claus was trying to laugh or smile. Looked kind of weird, kind of like that. I don't even know what kind of eyebrows to put on this thing. This is really weird. Maybe I'll just do tall eyebrows up here that are straight. I'm not even sure what to do with that. So anyways, there's the face, facial expressions. So you got different facial expressions to go with. Of course, you will have a head to put this on, and then we'll go over proportions in a little bit, but we'll have a head. And if you've ever purchased Legos and you've ever gotten a beard, I'll show you on mine that I finished, but the beard itself has like this thing here. It's like tab from the front. It looks like tabs, but what it is, it's a circle that goes all the way around. So you slide it over the neck, and then you put the head on over it, and the head slides behind the beard. So we would have to draw this as well. And again, I'll show you on mine so you can see how that looks. But we've got to think Lego when we're doing this. Again, this is not realistic. This is not anime. This is Lego. So we want to try and stay true to the Lego. All right. So that's the face. Draw some hair. Again, I don't want a hat. My students have to draw their hair. And I'm going to put the pictures up of some of the hair so you guys can see. Pause it on that portion if you want to practice by looking. Then just pause it on that image. All right, top of the head. So if we were to draw the head, first of all, the head is like a round edge square. Okay, so if I were to lightly, anytime you draw, you should always be drawing lightly. There's never a time where it makes sense when you're first sketching something to ever make it dark. Okay, so first and foremost, and I say that probably in almost all my videos, make sure that we are drawing lightly. I have to draw dark for you guys to be able to see it. Okay, so when I draw dark, you don't. What we don't want to see is this square through the hair. That rhymes. So we've got a square. Okay. The jawline will be rounded at the corners. The top is going to get cut off. And the top's going to get cut off almost halfway. So we need to erase, that's why we draw lightly, we need to erase the top portion. But we at least know that we've got a square. Now in my case, we wouldn't do that. Maybe I'll draw that one next since I already erased the top of this. We'll go with the thing of hair first. So remember, there's also no ears, so we don't have to worry about ears either. For you kids that have short hair, like you've got buzz cuts, then you're going to do a shorter version of what I'm going to show you. But you also have to think and figure out if you have a widow's peak. If you don't know what a widow's peak is, I'll draw one for you. To say it, it's kind of like Dracula's hair. It's kind of that point that comes down in the middle, if you know what I'm talking about. Dracula, the typical Dracula, has got the slick back hair, but he's got that point in the front. That's a widow's peak. So if you've got a widow's peak, make sure you show that. If you don't, and if it's kind of flat and crossed or rounded, then it's flat or rounded. Okay. So let's go with, I'm just going to go with the flow here. Actually, I don't think I'm going to do short to start with. I'm going to do kind of the comb over type hair. It's almost like Emmett's hair, I think. And you see how the hair kind of just dies into the side of the head. What I get a lot of kids doing, and I want to point this out because it will help eliminate some mistakes. And actually, I think I need to come in right here because that part line would be right there. I'm going to show you what not to do, first of all. Okay, what not to do is this. So I'm going to draw just the bottom portion of the head. And this is what I get a lot of. And this is for kids that have small hair. I get a lot of different things, but this is a popular one. Basically, this is somebody thinking that they have short hair. This is what I call the banana hair. Kids do this. I'm not sure what this is and what they were looking at when they drew this, but this is a problem because that doesn't look like this. This is what typically kids will do when they're looking at this. I don't know. I don't know where you're getting this from this. They have a hard time connecting this line to the head, this line right here, and they float it out. I call it the banana hair. I don't know. The other one that I get, I'm going to try and squeeze another don't in here. Kids that have short hair, they'll do this. They'll come down and they put on some like George Washington hat or wig or something, and they get close to connecting it. But this is a kid that thinks that has like a buzz cut. If you have a buzz cut, why is your hair coming down to here? I'm getting a little lost on that. So don't do that either. Okay? All right, let's do the bald guy real quick. This one's pretty easy. We actually just need to make that square. And make sure it's a square, not a rectangle. And then there's that little tab on top. That's where the hair clips into. So, there, you're done. It's pretty simple. Actually, let's throw the neck on too. I want to make sure that you guys understand the neck. Some kids take the neck all the way out to the ends. Some kids put a neck, like, see how tiny that neck is right there? Some kids put that little tiny neck on. That's not what we have here. Some kids take it all the way out to here like they're no necks and they're offensive linemen or something. There is a neck on a Lego character, and it goes about to here. And it's just a long rectangle. We got to think about Lego characters in shapes, like Lego bricks, right? They're shapes, rectangles and squares and things like that. So, and then let's get one on this guy. Not too far over, not too far in. Sketch it nice and light in case you have to erase. I cannot sketch lightly, so you can see it. All right. Let's do another. So, girl hair. So typically this is the point in the class, when I do this in class, is I'll look out at a student and I'll choose a girl to draw their hair because there's not a lot of girl hair to choose from. So some people are like, what if I have braids, and what if I have a ponytail and things like that. And, it gets a little dicey. So I'm going to show you a couple things. Boys are fairly easy. Boys, I want you to pay attention. Go back to the picture that has a bunch of different hairstyles. Pick something, make it close to what that is, okay? Whether it be a smaller version if you have less hair or a bigger version if you have more hair, okay? But girls is where it gets a little dicey just because there's short hair, there's long hair, there's braids, ponytails, so many different things that girls can do with their hair. And I want girls to choose something that they normally do, not something they do once in a blue moon, but something, how do they normally wear their hair? And that's where I want them to draw, or that's what I want them to draw. So there's the basic short. This could even be long, and I'm going to show you how to turn this into long hair too. This would be the short kind of parted hair, bangs in the middle, and then we've got kind of draped over, and it's coming down to the shoulder. Okay, so the shoulders would be here. This can curl in if we want it to curl in and show that it's short, or we could keep it going. And so let's put a neck in real quick, and then we're going to put shoulders in. I just want to show you. I remember where shoulders go. Shoulders, the upper body, which we'll get into, is like a trapezoid. Something like that. Okay, so we've got, this can be long hair because we can have it go behind the body. Okay, or we can keep it short, have it cut there, or we can have some of it come forward and have it drape, like if you normally pull your hair forward. And this is a weird part here because you're not drawing every single strand, so it's kind of hard to draw this in a chunky style, something like that. And then we would erase the shoulder because we can't see the shoulder if the hair's coming in front, right? And there's a way that you can bring in some long hair. Okay, that's one way. Ponytail seems to be an issue for some kids, and there's a couple different ways to do the ponytails. You can even do a double ponytail or pigtails, whatever they're called. Let's see here. So I'm going to do that widow's peak. Okay, so there's the widow's peak. And then I'm going to have this girl's hairs tied back. So I'm going to end right there. And then I'm going to put in kind of like that, where the bun would be, or where the ponytail would be tied. And then I'm going to do kind of like a waterfall. Like that. Okay, so that would be a ponytail in the back, right? And this would show that the hair was pulled back. There we go. So again, this is a widow's peak. If yours doesn't come to a point like that, then just make it straight or rounded at the top. Okay. So that's a pulled up ponytail. And I might have brought the jaw line down too far. It just depends on your face, I guess. We have to be careful because if we look, faces are typically down. Like there's usually, the face is attached down below. So this is probably up too high. We would probably want to bring this down to about here. Okay. And that would probably mean that we need to move all the hair on top as well, because then now it looks like we got a big poofy set of hair. I can keep that ponytail up kind of high, right? This expression on her face looks worried. She's probably worried because of what I'm doing to her hair. Okay. All right, so that's one. That's hair there. Braids, I'm going to show you an easy way to do braid, hopefully, if I remember correctly. If you want to have braids coming down, some kids braid their hair and it comes down in the middle. Let's do, I don't know what I want to do. How do I want to do the hair? I guess I'll do one of these. Okay, and this is where the braid would come in. There we go. Okay. Maybe this is more like a twist. Well, it looks pretty cool, but I'm okay with that, but I still don't think that's what I want. I think I'm gonna leave it alone though. I apologize. I'm drawing a blank on my braids, but that is an option for you if you want to look up another video. There's videos out there on how to draw braids, and you can still kind of turn it into a Lego format. So that is an option if you're dead set on doing braids. Look into that. Okay. Anyways, there we've got hair. So we've practiced the face and we've practiced the hair. And I want you to take your time. I want you to understand how it's going to work. I don't want you to rush through. I want you to do multiple sets of your own hair. In my class, I would have them do their hair probably 4 or 5 times. And then if they still are struggling with them, I'd have them do it more. So you got to make sure that it's looking right. This is you. You're drawing yourself in a Lego character, so you don't want to mess yourself up. Okay? So take the time and practice.